Prices was on the rise, prices were on the rise, road safety regulations were on the rise, and insurance prices were on the rise. Many manufacturers found it necessary to minimize the power of their cars to help themselves and not lose sales. But did they really do it, or was it just a cover-up? Welcome back to the channel. The 1973 Buick Century Grand Sport 455 is a beloved classic, appreciated for its unique ability to blend in with the crowd while packing enough power to surprise even the most confident of muscle car enthusiasts. At first glance, this Buick looks like just another mid-sized family sedan. No wild hood scoops, no flashy stripes, no oversized spoilers. It's the kind of car you'd expect to see on the road next to station wagons and family sedans of the era. Under the hood, you'll find a 455 cubic inch V8 engine, capable of pushing out 230 horsepower and 360 pound-feet of torque, a significant amount of muscle for the era. On the outside, it looks like a regular car that blends into the crowd, but when the light turns green, it's a completely different story. Even with the tighter emissions regulations of the 70s, this engine still offered solid performance. With its impressive torque and smooth power delivery, the Grand Sport could hold its own against many of the more famous muscle cars of the time. At the time, few people realized just how potent this car was. It didn't get the attention it deserved. This was a sleeper car because of its understated appearance and high performance. Under the hood of the Nova SS, you'd find a 350 cubic inch, 5.7-liter V8 engine, capable of pushing out around 300 horsepower. But if you opted for the 396 cubic inch, 6.5-liter V8, you'd get a massive 375 horsepower engine. With a 396 V8 under the hood, the Nova SS was capable of impressive acceleration, with a 0 to 60 time of just under 6 seconds, which was a marvel for the time, and a top speed nearing 120 miles per hour. It could easily hold its own against any muscle car of the time. It was featured with dual exhausts for increased performance, power front brakes for improved stopping power, a simulated hood air intake to improve airflow, and a simulated fender louvers for better airflow. The Plymouth Duster was a short-lived pony car manufactured on the excellent Dodge Darts platform, but added some design cues from the Plymouth Barracuda to make it more attractive. The Duster was only available between 1970 and 1976, quite a difficult time for a muscle car. Under the hood, the Duster came with several engine options. The engines included the Slant 6, Inline 6, and a few LA V8s. If you opted for a 360 cubic inch 5.9-liter V8, performance was down to just 245 horsepower, but was still quite quick for the time. Thanks to its relatively light weight, the Duster's 360 V8 offered impressive acceleration for a car that didn't look like it belonged on a drag strip. In fact, with a 0 to 60 mile per hour time of around 6.5 seconds, it could easily outrun many of the more visually aggressive muscle cars of the time. The Duster wasn't about making a statement. It wasn't trying to get attention. It was a car that looked like a daily driver but acted like a performance machine. The Chevrolet Biscayne was a sleeper car because it was a budget-priced full-size car that could be equipped with a powerful engine. The simple design and lack of exterior trim made it look like a modest car, but it could surprise drivers with its speed and power. The Biscayne was marketed as an affordable, budget-friendly vehicle, often purchased by families or for use as fleet cars. Its pricing made it an attractive option for those looking for a full-size car without the higher price tag that came with more premium models like the Chevelle SS or Monte Carlo. It had an extremely simple and plain appearance. It was a full-size sedan with little to no styling cues that suggested any high-performance potential. It could be equipped with some of the most powerful engines Chevrolet offered at the time. The 454 V8 engine, in particular, was capable of pushing out up to 450 horsepower in its highest configuration. The big block V8s gave the Biscayne incredible torque and acceleration. With its large engine, the car could easily accelerate from 0 to 60 in under 6 seconds, a respectable time for the decade and a serious performance figure when paired with the car's full-size frame. The 1979 Chrysler 300 was equipped with a 360 cubic inch 5.9-liter V8 engine as the standard option, producing around 170 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. While this may seem modest by muscle car standards, it was still a strong engine for a car that wasn't marketed as a performance vehicle. The 360 V8 engine allowed the Chrysler 300 to have enough power for highway cruising and decent acceleration, but it wasn't until you experienced it on the road that you fully appreciated its performance capabilities. There was also the option of a 318 cubic inch 5.2-liter V8, but the 360 V8 was where the real muscle came in. The Chrysler 300's combination of power and luxury made it a perfect sleeper. It had the comfort and features expected from a luxury coupe, but its performance capabilities allowed it to punch well above its weight in terms of acceleration and speed. The sleeper aspect of the Chrysler 300 was that IT didn't announce its presence with a loud engine growl. It was smooth and elegant on the outside, but when pushed, it could outpace many of the vehicles that would normally be considered performance cars. I'm sure you have seen this car. Yes, it's Eric Foreman's car from That 70's show, the Vista Cruiser. Like the Dodge Magnum, the Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser is a wagon with a huge V8 under the hood. The Vista Cruiser started out life as a humble family wagon before getting the legendary Oldsmobile Rocket V8. The second generation raised the stakes and put the V8 engines from the 442 in the car. It was a practical family vehicle that could comfortably carry passengers and cargo, but its unique design and the option to equip it with powerful engines gave it a sleeper car persona. This meant a large family wagon with enough space for everyone and everything had either a 6.6-liter or a 7.5-liter V8 powering it. All 365 horsepower went to the rear wheels only via either a 3 or 4-speed manual or a 2 or 3-speed automatic, blending the awesomeness of a muscle car with the practicality of a family car. The special edition Hearst model also definitely looks the best of all the models. The most important thing with these sleeper wagons, other than their ludicrous performance, is their general level of equipment. The trick to blending in is to subvert expectations, and the Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser does this exceptionally well. The Vista part of the name alludes to the glass roof over the second-row seats, and the increased glass around the cargo space because it had many glass panels, including panoramic windows, which gave passengers a better view than other GM wagons. It gave people the feeling of an Amtrak observation car. I know this isn't an American car, but since the various factors I mentioned at the beginning, many people started buying these cars to help themselves save some gas money. The Civic 1200 had a simple, compact design that didn't scream performance. It was a practical, economy-focused car. At only around 1,600 pounds, 725 kilograms, the Civic was incredibly light, which gave it a significant advantage in terms of agility and handling, even with its modest engine. This made it more capable than people initially expected in terms of cornering and acceleration. This car came with a 1.2-liter 4-cylinder engine, which was small but very efficient and reliable. In its stock form, the engine didn't produce a lot of power, but it was quick enough for its size and had a decent power-to-weight ratio. It was also a popular choice for engine swaps and modifications. The Civic 1200 had a huge aftermarket scene, allowing owners to modify the engine, suspension, and other components to boost performance. That, and the car's simplicity, made it an easy platform for tuners to transform it into a potent performance vehicle, making it a sleeper in its modified form. The 1972 Nissan Skyline GTR, often referred to as the Hakosuka due to its boxy design, is another classic example of a sleeper car, but for different reasons compared to the previous car on this list. On the outside, it didn't look like a high-performance car at first glance. It had a fairly conservative, boxy design typical of sedans of that time. Compared to more aggressive sports cars of the time, it didn't stand out with flashy design elements. The GTR badge was subtle, making it blend in with regular skylines and not attracting too much attention from the average car enthusiast. While the car's engine, the S22.0-liter inline-six, wasn't overly large by today's standards, it was capable of producing 160 horsepower, which was substantial for a car of its size in the early 1970s. However, that power was somewhat hidden under the hood, due to the car's relatively mild exterior and styling. The combination of its lightweight body and powerful engine gave the Hakosuka a performance edge that wasn't immediately obvious to the average observer. It was equipped with advanced racing technology. It featured the legendary Atessa AWD system, independent rear suspension, and a sophisticated braking system. While these technologies helped it dominate on the racetrack, they weren't something that the average person would notice when just looking at the car on the street. Although it didn't look like it, Nissan had developed the Skyline GTR with motorsports success in mind. The car was highly effective on the racetrack, where it dominated in the Japanese Touring Car Championship and various other races. It wasn't just about the engine, it was the whole package, including the handling, braking, and stability, that made it a beast on the track. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and turn the notifications on. See you in the next video.